Welcome to Success at Scale with Triple G Ventures. This is a brand new podcast, something that is completely fresh, something that is totally different, and inspired by one of my idols, Jerry Seinfeld, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, a great TV show if you haven't seen it already. But it's really meant to talk about the world of business and growth. Talking about hey, what's going on in the world and how to thrive in uncertain times. And today, this is our first episode. I'm super excited to have my really, really good friend, Mr. Richard Weir. Richard is a highly world-renowned, really, executive. He works in the world of recruiting. And I thought, what a great way to start, because to me, people is everything. And Richard knows how to find good people, connect with good people, and help people do great things in the world. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Mr. Richard Weir. Richard, tell us about you.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning. It's great to be with you. I'm really honored to be invited to spend this time with you on this session. It's great. I've been in this business for ever now, 35 years or so. I'm essentially a musician, like many people in the audio and music products business. I didn't quite know what I was going to do. I was kind of an engineering major, if you like, but didn't really want to be an engineer. And I just got sucked into the world of recording and music products and sales. And I discovered that I loved selling and I enjoyed it and I was good at it. And it was a great way to start a working business career. So I spent a few years working in product sales and in recording and broadcast and music technology biz. Just moved on through that, getting more into product and marketing, which I also enjoyed. Worked for a few really, really strong brands, but very much with a fairly international focus, even though I've always been based here in the UK. And found the whole process of brand and product development, brand positioning, developing a business into new markets absolutely fascinating. And through all of this, I was always also interested in the people aspect of my colleagues, my teams, the companies I worked in, which were generally quite small, in fact. And then in my mid-30s, when I was thinking, you know what, I feel ready to start my own thing. I thought I like working, I work hard. Honestly, I thought if I'm going to work this hard, I'd like to do it for myself. And there was a number of things I explored doing. But when I talked to my close friends or business colleagues about what I might do next, the thing that kept coming up was recruitment. I kept thinking, you know what, I think I should do this. And I started a recruitment business with a specific focus on our industry, which is the audio technology, music products, broadcast equipment world. I started a specific business back in the 2002 with a view to trying to come up with a bit more of a bespoke service for an industry that's not typically or traditionally used to working with outside recruiters. And what is it, 18 years later, here I am. And I always say to people, I'm not a recruiter. And then I stop myself and I say, you know what, I probably am now. I've been doing this for 18 years. But we've grown Interfacio, steadily over that time, had some good periods of growth, fascinating journey. Recruitment's changed. We started off in 2002. In fact, my first day in recruitment was a year earlier, was the day before 9/11, which was a really interesting time to try and start not just a new business, but a new career. With a small, very good small firm in the UK called Taylor Phillips, who I'd been working with as a vendor in my prior role at Celestion. And I knew that really this was where I was headed. And I started Interfacio in 2002. But there was no Facebook in 2002. There was no LinkedIn in 2002. Most of it was still done, on paper. But the processes have changed, but the fundamental is still the same.
So many people listening to this, right, are probably not musicians, and here we are, a couple of musicians who happen to stumble upon these great careers in business. And for me, I found that creativity is something that comes from being a musician and something that I bring to what I do every day. I even go so far as to say business is a form of music, right? If you get all the parts and pieces to connect, it really works. I'm curious, listening to your background, coming from music, working in business and selling and marketing and all these things. What role does creativity play, in your day-to-day interactions as a business
Do you
owner?
feel there's a creative thread to what I enjoy and what I do in business in terms of possibly constantly reinventing how we do what we do, but also possibly trying to do things differently for our customers? The musical theme is really interesting. I mean, yes, I'm a musician. I'm also a drummer, like you, except you're a much better drummer
Good
than me.
man. Good man.
So I don't want to separate out drummer and musician too much, but I'm an orchestral violinist, and particularly orchestral playing. It's all about the synergy and the whole. A lot of individual players listening to each other, producing a finished work or producing a whole piece. And I think that sense of almost training since a very early age. I mean, I was playing in symphony orchestras when I was less than 10, younger than 10. And it's probably just been instinctive. You sit around, you're with other people, you're watching somebody who's leading, who's maybe a conductor, you're reading music, and you're playing together, and you're listening to other people. And that's a sort of analogy, I suppose, for working in teams. And there's probably a lot of sport analogies too that work well from a business point of view. The drumming perspective, of course, is different because when you're sitting at the kit, you're at the back, you're trying to lay it down, you're trying to hold everyone together. Sometimes there's a bit of flash and flare, although certainly not with me playing. But I've seen you playing, and I think so. The drumming thing is interesting because you really are laying down the pulse, and you're holding everyone together. But from a creativity point of view, I think also it's interesting if you have an opportunity to create and be creative and invent and innovate. That's what makes it interesting. Right. If you're not creating and innovating, it could become pretty dull pretty quickly. I mean, one of the most exciting things about starting Interfacio was creating something literally from nothing, and not only a business from nothing, but I was possibly a little bit arrogant and a little bit snooty about recruitment, what I perceived as recruitment. And I thought, I don't want to just do what people do already. I don't want to do what the high street recruitment agencies do, or even the big exec search companies. I want to do something bespoke and new and innovate a little bit, because I think our customers will respond to that. So that in itself was great fun and enjoyable. And now, a long time later, with a slightly more mature business, we are still constantly innovating and creating and thinking, how can we do it differently? How can we improve?
Yes, creating something from nothing. I mean, that is, the whole, early stage startup game, even into some of the mid-sized companies, and even large, because quite frankly, you're always introducing some new product, some new service, you're changing the game, and if you don't, it doesn't work. So to me, that's the magic of, you talk about drumming, like you get behind the kit and it's like, that's the magic of it, right? Like you're literally putting something together out of nothing. And quite frankly, if you're doing it right, people are tapping their feet, people are dancing, people are having a good time. And if you're doing it wrong, people leave. So it's kind of it's very much analogous to a good product.
You should have seen the people leave when I sat in with a big band. The only ever time I did.
Really?
Boy, they left quickly.
Oh my God.
I was put in on one tune in one set, not knowing what I was going to play, and the pad on my stand when I sat down was "Love for Sale," Buddy Rich.
Oh, well, that's a tough act to follow right there.
It killed me. Never again.
Thank you again for joining us, and you're the man, Richard. Be well, brother. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it, and I wish I could come and have a play.